You have been listening to the ambassador at large for global criminal justice, Beth Van Schaack, who is briefing right now and officially saying that the U.S. assesses that Russia has committed war crimes in Ukraine. This is an official assessment by the U.S. government, so this is a major shift. She was pressed on what accountability might look like. She said there are options for accountability. She said that evidence is still being collected and preserved. She called it an ongoing process. So this is a significant development, and I want to bring back Kelly O'Donnell and Josh Lederman. And Kelly, I want to start with you. Put this into context, because President Biden was asked about this several days ago. Is President Putin a war criminal? He said, yes, I believe he is. This is different. It takes us a step further, and it makes it official.
And at that time, the White House was clear to point out that the president was speaking personally and sort of echoing what many of us around the world have been watching, and that feeling we have in seeing the lives lost, the tragedy, and our personal assessment that this has gone beyond the rules of war. And now they're saying in an official assessment based on intelligence, based on analysis of things like the demarcation of children as a non-military asset, that was a clear violation of war, as one of the elements that they're looking at. Much like we would see in an everyday criminal court in the United States, there are rules that apply, there is evidence that is gathered, and then an assessment is made. It's not just an opinion. It follows that. And so similarly, even on this grand scale, that's what's at play here. So making it an official assessment of war crimes also has the impact not only of that process, but of sending a message that may get through in Russia and may have some impact on the people of Russia who may be able to use that information and how they respond to their own government. It may affect the people of Ukraine and their will to keep fighting. It may affect world leaders in how they assess things in the meetings they'll have with President Biden. And it may be another one of the many planks that we've seen in all different kinds of response, from aid to sanctions, and now this piece that could have criminal or sort of court-like repercussions, to put another note on this to say this is not a justified military action.
And to follow up on Kelly's point there, Josh, the question of accountability, it was one of the first questions that got asked to the ambassador at large there. She said there are options for accountability, but give us the fact check here. When you're talking about punishing someone like Vladimir Putin, how tough would it actually be for the global community to prosecute him?
Symbolically, this is very important, Kristen. There's not that many people the U.S. government has formally accused of being a war criminal. But the reality is it is going to be very difficult to get accountability in this venue for Vladimir Putin. Russia is not a member of the International Criminal Court. Neither, by the way, is the U.S. or Ukraine, which means that the ICC doesn't really have jurisdiction over Vladimir Putin. Now, there is an exception, which is the UN Security Council can refer a country to the ICC for the crime of aggression. But remember, Russia has a veto at the UN Security Council, so that seems very unlikely to happen as well. And then, of course, there's the question of who would actually physically hand over Vladimir Putin to sit for a trial. That seems something entirely unlikely that the Russian government would ever contemplate in its current formation. And therefore, these are the challenges the U.S. and its allies are going to have in trying to get this kind of justice and accountability for President Putin.